I'm so excited today to bring an expert, Dr. Kiitty Rathod, to our audience. I want to just say welcome, Dr. Kiitty. Now, Dr. Kiitty, you are familiar with our philosophy that for a pilgrimage to self, that we follow the Indian proverb, a house with 4 rooms. So we think of our bodies as having a physical, a mental, an emotional, and a spiritual room. And according to the proverb, we have to go into each one of these rooms daily in order to be a complete person. And so that means we have to watch out for our physical, our mental, our emotional, and our spiritual well-being. And I think as a sleep expert, you are going to bring so much value to our audience today because sleeping has so much to do not only with our physical well-being, but it spills over into all those other rooms. So I am just so excited to welcome you to our platform today. Now for our audience, Dr. Kiitty Rathod is a sleep expert. Her journey started on the homeopathy with an emphasis on mental wellness. Now, from your background, I know that you've studied nutrition, Reiki, other natural ways of healing, and through your practice, you help other people heal through these natural modalities. And so I'm just so thrilled and honored to welcome you, Dr. Kiitty. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much, Lisa. I love you.
Oh, thank you.
I know that. Thank you so much for calling me in.
Yes. So Dr. Kiitty, you have been practicing for over a decade of these specialties that help other people, not just women, but everyone really center themselves so that they can get the amount of sleep and the deep sleep, the restful sleep that they need. So can you tell us a little bit about yourself and how this journey actually started?
So I started my journey with homeopathy, which is that philosophy is like my foundation, wherein we treat people as the person that they are and not as disease. So that was probably my foundation, and I think I'm so grateful that I started with that. Along with that, I realized that medicines were not the aid that I could connect to, because my patients started getting better just talking to me at times. And I started giving them medicines just like sugar pills. And that took me much more deeper into, Reiki, yoga, and various different modalities, because for me, the core was that treatment needs to be much more amazing. It's like if a patient comes to me, patient shouldn't just go back physically well, but go back with such optimum, as you mentioned, 4 rooms. It's such a beautiful concept. As somebody, if you ever fall sick, you know exactly how to get better. You don't need an outside doctor because the doctor is right here. And as I ventured back, I realized that relaxation was actually something that became the pivotal or the pillar of my healing. So I started feeling, why don't I focus on that rather than curing people, work with this so that they don't fall sick. So that we work with, healthy individuals, because today we are only taking care of sick. I want that we are already healthy when we reach a higher state. And that's when I realized sleep is so amazing. So why not target the root?
Very nice. Now, when in your studies and what you've been doing, is there anything that surprised you when you were studying and learning about the importance of sleep?
Oh my God. I mean, surprise is an understatement, because as I studied a lot in detail, I myself didn't realize that sleep was doing so much magic to me. And that's when, if it's not just 4 pillars, I'll say it covers 5 pillars, because it takes you even higher in the state of consciousness that you are in. And along with that, if I would request you, Lisa, to just give you an exercise right now, to just close your eyes, just give you an example what really happens. And just observe how your breath is moving. I just want you to observe. Get out of your mind, get into your breath, and observe after an inhalation, is there a pause? And after your exhalation, is there a pause? I just want you to observe. If there is a pause that you can notice, keep your eyes closed. And if you can notice the pause, just nod your head in affirmation. Great. Now I want you to just extend that pause by holding that pause for a little longer period of time. So take a deep breath in, hold that pause, exhale, and hold that pause. Inhale, hold that pause, exhale, hold that pause. Inhale, hold that pause, exhale, hold the pause. Come back to your natural breathing and slowly, gently open your eyes. And how do you feel?
Calm.
Right? So when we think of sleep, for me, sleep was just rest, restoration, very passive. If our breath gives that pause, imagine this amazing dynamic breath is pausing. This body needs that pause of sleep. Because sleep, how is your breath now? How is your mind now? Much better than what it was. Sleep is energizing you on all your departments. It's not passive, it's a very active process, unlike the belief that we feel it's very, I'm wasting my time. Because people today consider it's heroic that I'm awake for longer period and I don't have time to sleep. If you truly understand what sleep gives you, you will never neglect it. And that's a takeaway I received. And today I prioritize my sleep. It's a very important tool.
Yes, it's the way, like you said, the body is healing itself when you're sleeping, right? So even though I'm resting and I'm sleeping, there's still things that are happening that are going to help me when I wake up for the day, and want to continue my day, and it'll restore again the night when I go back to sleep at night, right? So it's a cycle that happens.
Right. And it's not just restoration, but when we are sleeping, we have toxins that accumulate during the day. It's basically sleep is the price we pay for being wakeful. During the day, the information that, you're constantly receiving, that actually gets processed and embedded when you're sleeping. So sleep is essential for your learning. Sleep is essential for your cleaning because your organs will thank you, especially your liver and pancreas will thank you because they're working. That's the time for them to restore. Your brain is clearing. Basically, you're removing debris from each and it's like this beautiful repair. We are functioning today, but imagine if the car has a punctured, tire. Car might move, but how will it move? Not such great speed. That's what sleep is. If you don't give it that amazing importance, you will work. Today we are functioning with that deprivation, with that sleep loss, but we are functioning with low batteries.
Right.
How about incorporating this recharger and charging up our lives?
I love that analogy. That's fabulous. It's something that we can all relate to. That's terrific. So, so what is happening when we are trying to get to sleep? Because we have some women that they need some help trying to get to sleep, but then we have others that they get to sleep, but they wake up. They can't stay asleep. Do you have any tips for us?
Right. See, we need to understand that when we think about sleep, today we always think about instant solutions. Your life is a reflection of your sleep. Your sleep reflects your life. Today, if there is an issue with your sleep, we need to address what are we doing during the day. And I compare sleep to being sunshine because Sleep requires the daylight. When you expose yourself, so that's the first tip that I will give. Expose yourself to the natural daylight. When we think of sleep, we only think of 1 hour prior to sleep. What can I do to get that optimum sleep? Your actually morning begins when you go to sleep, night begins when you wake up.
Oh,
Because the way you function in the morning, don't get into your laptops, your phones, because that's going to give you only trouble for your sleep. Expose yourself, to that natural light. That nighttime hormone will actually go down and it will actually come up when the sun starts setting. Because as the sun starts rising, your nighttime hormone goes down. But as the sun starts setting, your nighttime hormone rises. Please make sure you give your body, whether you live in a country or a city where there is no direct sunlight, even if it's cloudy, expose yourself, because that is very, very important. Second, we need to understand that today, if you only try to, as I compare sleep to being a pause, we need these micro pauses during the day. Today, we are not even aware of what's happening to us during the day, what thoughts are running. And just before we go to sleep, you're bombarded with thoughts. What are these thoughts? These thoughts are your body releasing stress from the body. But what do? We want to just shut this child up, not addressing it during the day. And when it comes up in the night, you want to again shut it by taking an external aid. When you take those external aid, you're hampering your sleep much more because you're not really sleeping.
yeah.
These external aids are sedatives. They don't allow you to get into the naturalistic sleep. And even though you will feel that you're sleeping, you aren't, because your deep sleep is restorative. Some external tips that you could do: 1 hour before you sleep, make sure you stay away from electronics, because if you are around electronics, your nighttime hormone is again confused. Should I rise up or should I go down? Because your eyes perceives light, and if there's light going, this hormone is confused. 1 hour before or 15 minutes before you sleep, sit in a room which is pitch dark. Darkness attracts that. Second, take a hot shower. Believe me, that's something that's working amazing with my patients, because we can take our phones everywhere, but we can't take it when we take a shower. And this hot shower actually dissipates the heat outside and gets your core body temperature down. The minute this temperature goes down, it signals to your brain, it's time for me to sleep. Create the environment in your bedroom in such a way that the lights are already dim. If you can, get a beautiful aroma, because these things actually aid your sleep. Your 5 sensory organs should realize it's time for me to sleep. Get the room cooler. Create this beautiful transition ritual. However you may be feeling emotionally, dreams will actually help you in emotional healing. And that is one aspect of your sleep that you don't want to miss out. So please make sure that you can try these things. But I will just like to touch upon caffeine here, because caffeine, which is your coffee or your tea, even though you had it at 5 p.m., caffeine's half-life is 5 hours. When I say that, 50% of caffeine has left your body, but 50% still remains. Caffeine is a stimulant. We have something called a sleep pressure in our body. This pressure helps us go to sleep. Caffeine blocks this sleep pressure. If you have caffeine and try to sleep, you're not going to enjoy the sleep. And the most destructive thing that caffeine does, it disrupts your deep sleep. Deep sleep is like, if you have a heart, it's the best heart tonic. It's the best blood pressure medication that you can give your body. So please, if you're a caffeine lover, curb it after your midday. Enjoy it, but not after that, because you're not letting your sleep come in naturally. And that is why you end up waking up feeling more groggy and you need more coffee. We need to realize, to stay healthy, we need to wake up energized. Your sleep is beautiful when you wake up energized, not have something to feel energized. You are productive during the day, and in the night, you actually feel sleepy. There's a mantra that I follow that during the day, breathe slowly, during the night, sleep quickly.
Oh.
You know, if you're aware of your breath during the day, your night will be beautiful.
That's terrific. So, I've mentioned to you before that I've had some health issues, and one of the things that I've learned is breathing exercises. And so, the exercise that we just did earlier is something that I do, not typically with my eyes closed, but in any day during the day, I'll stop and I will, inhale slowly and I'll pause, like you said, exhale and pause, and it helps me before I respond to something. So if something is going on in my day that just is getting like that piece of sand in the shell, I pause and I watch my breathing, and it helps me to center and calm myself before I respond. So I do practice that during the day, but I never knew it had anything to do with my sleep later. So that's magical right there, to know that what I do during the day can affect my nighttime. Now, when you said the deep sleep that we go to, is that the REM? Is it REM sleep? Is
No, deep sleep is the non-REM.
Oh,
Dream sleep is the REM. So
okay.
during your sleep, we have different sleep cycles. First half of your sleep is more of the deep sleep. Second half is more of your dream sleep. That is why you will wake up at times remembering your dreams, because it's the second half of your sleep. And both of these play a very, very important role.
Yeah. Now, Dr. Kiitty, I don't remember my dreams. I
That's
don't. Is that okay?
I will just talk about this because dreams are something that I'm loving right now. I actually keep a dream journal, and it is said that where attention goes, energy flows. And the day I started creating this dream journal and writing it down, my dreams actually started showing up more and more. Because as I mentioned, dreams are your information alchemy. It's like, an emotion that you feel during the day. When you dream about it, that despair actually becomes hope, because dreams actually is like this emotional aid. And the more I'm writing these dreams down, I'm understanding so many different aspects, and I take it a notch higher. At times I even say, okay, I'm going to be dreaming about flying. I love birds and I love the aspects of flying. So I say, I want to dream about flying. If you have a dream where you're falling, you can actually convert it into flying.
Mm,
That's the power, but that's a little later stage. But I'm just sharing this because that's something that I am working on myself.
wow.
So it's, even if you don't remember your dreams, it's okay. You're still dreaming.
Okay.
And until and unless, dreams actually take you to an astral plane, and deep sleep actually takes you to a cosmic, your casual plane. So at times it is said that somebody like you, it's quite possible, who may not go into dream sleep and go directly only enjoying deep sleep, because you're so aware of your emotions during the day that night is just deep sleep, because your emotions are already being answered. But
Mhm.
for people like me, I need my dreams yet.
Yes. And so, and just another personal thing that happens to me is that sometimes if I have a problem, I can go to bed and I meditate before I go to sleep. It's one of my routines, but I can think about my problem and ask the universe, God, Spirit, to help me solve it. And do you know, Dr. Kiitty, the next day I'll wake up and I will have an answer to what I was, my problem.
Yeah, sleep is actually this magic wand, That's why I say that if people knew what they get out of rest, this beautiful sleep, they would never take it for granted. And as you mentioned, I do the same thing. before I sleep, and it's excellent, for you to meditate before you sleep, because the thoughts that you go to sleep with are churned for those many hours. Imagine today during the day you need to be very conscious. But as Wayne Dyer, he's somebody I love, he spoke about sleep, that your subconscious mind is at home when you sleep. Imagine you've traveled everywhere, but when you come at home, there is a certain, peace that nobody else can explain. Imagine how amazing, you're doing for your subconscious mind without putting too much effort, except before you sleep, you meditate. And I ask the same question. If there is something that I'm looking for, I'll say, okay, sleep, I'm looking for this, or this is what it is. And believe me, I get answers. So
Oh,
sleep is a magic wand even for me.
that I love that too, a magic wand. That's
Yeah.
fabulous. So, Dr. Kiitty, you've given us a lot of information today that will help us not only to change some of our habits and routines so we can get a good night's sleep, but we can stay asleep. Before we go, is there any tips that you'd like our audience to take away? Is there anything that you'd like to share?
Sure. Today there's a lot of stress because of the whole change in the situations, or people feel stuck. I think sleep is something, if I tell you that when you sleep, you will actually come up with creative ideas. As using sleep as a magic wand is very conscious effort, but you may have heard about amazing musicians, business entrepreneurs who actually came with creative insights to previously impossible, problems of theirs after they, woke up. There is a very famous song called Yesterday by Paul McCartney, and he actually came up with it when he, woke up. It actually came to him in a dream.
Oh,
That periodic table actually sprung up in his dream, and he just woke up and wrote it down. So, please make, or give respect to your sleep. How we give respect to our morning routine, we need to schedule the same amount, or a transition ritual, as I call it. And I always tell people, tap into your sleep. Thank you, awareness, positivity. You just do these three things, you will wake up with these, grateful thoughts in the morning. And I'll just touch a bit on alcohol, because, when people are stressed, they think alcohol will relax them down. And especially before sleeping, if you consume alcohol, you are curbing your dream sleep, the sleep that's important for you to feel good. If there is an emotional upheaval that you're going through, dream. That's why there's a saying, sleep it off or sleep on it.
sleep on.
It's said for it for a reason, that you will feel better if you slept. So the only request would be, respect your sleep, see the magic that sleep will give you.
That's
And
that.
sleep makes you feel beautiful. You have beautiful skin. We've all experienced one night of bad sleep makes you look a different way. Anyone will say you look tired.
Yeah.
So if you want to look beautiful, feel beautiful, make sleep your priority.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Now, how can our audience find you, Dr. Kiitty? Now, they'll have the information. I'll write it out. But is there a way that they can find you and learn more?
So if you want to learn more about sleep, it's my YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and everything is just Dr. Kiitty Rathod. And I have my website as well called Dr. Kiitty Rathod. Everything is just Dr. Kiitty Rathod. And if somebody wants a book, which is the most simpler thing, I have a book called Sunshine Sleep, which talks a lot in detail about this.
Lovely. I thank you for joining us. We're going to walk away and we're going to be more respectful, not only to what we do during the day, but our process of going and ritual of going to bed at night and respecting the sleep that our bodies need. And we're going to think of it more like a reward for a day well lived. So if we live a nice life, we can have that wonderful reward of sleep, restful, that dream, thought-provoking sleep. This has been wonderful, Dr. Kiitty. Thank you for joining me, and thank you for sharing your expertise with our audience. I really am honored and appreciate your kindness to share your expertise with us today.
Thank you so much, Lisa. I'm truly honored. And it's so amazing for you to, talk about sleep because, 4 rooms, sleep will work on all the 4 rooms. So
Abs-
thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you for joining today.
Thank you.